sides. Joining me now to discuss is Democratic Congresswoman from Nevada, Titus. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So amid the government shutdown aversion, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer now at odds with his fellow Democrats, showing this split party on how to take on Trump. So, I mean, this is a really big week. How do you see things here? And do you think that there's a long game?
Well, there has to be a long game. Unfortunately, it plays into the narrative that Democrats can't get their shit together. We've got a common enemy. We need to unite against that person. You know that old saying that if people are throwing mud at each other, just get out of the way. And that's what the Republicans are doing. You know, I hate to give old Gingrich any credit for anything, but when he came up with the contract on America, that was very effective. Democrats need to get together and come up with a contract with America, come up with 5 things that we stand for and that we would do if we got back the keys to the House.
Okay, so we know how you feel there. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries dodged questions on his confidence in Schumer. This was really quite a moment. While Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez said Schumer's stance was, quote, a betrayal. So do you think there should be new leadership in the Senate? A lot of people are talking about it behind the scenes, but is it too early for that?
Well, I think so. That's a decision that the senators have to make. I can tell you, though, that it's put people in a difficult position. If you're in a state where the senator voted against the bill, you're in a swing district like I am, where we voted, we voted against it, they voted for it, excuse me. So we're going to have to reconcile that, and I hope Schumer's the person to get it done.
Well, what do you think about this growing divide? Because it seems like with every week we're hearing more of this, and this week was certainly a big one.
Well, Democrats have always been a big tent party. You know, we've always kind of fought among ourselves like a family. But when it comes down to it, we need to unite. I think you'll see that now with these town halls that are taking place around the country. I'm having one on Thursday, and I'm not afraid to face my constituents. And as the public has more and more buyer's remorse with this president, you'll start to see that groundswell building and that unity come back.
Yeah, some people are taking a look at this and say it's really a sign of Democrats working together with the administration. Of course, not everybody feels the same. How do you feel?
Well, I'm certainly not working with the administration, and I can't speak for how they came to that decision. I didn't want a shutdown, but that's a false equivalency. That was a bad bill, and we were trying to negotiate for a 30-day extension, a CR, so we could continue the negotiations to get some of the provisions back in there for the people we care about, for veterans, for hungry children. Not more for the military and ICE with less for our families. So it didn't have to be till September, and now we have no leverage whatsoever, and we're just leaving it in the hands of Musk to do whatever he wants to.
Well, how can you work with the administration? And if you are doing anything to work with them, can you share with us what's happening there with you?
Well, you know, we try to find bills that we have things in common with, but it's difficult to work with somebody when they say one thing one day and do something else the next, and then they're back in their original position. That's part of the problem, is the lack of consistency and the lack of truth. Look at that speech that was given yesterday at the Justice Department. That was unprecedented, and it was shocking but not surprising when you're talking about everything from basketball coach to the price of eggs and weaponizing the agency that you're there to say you're not weaponizing. So how do you work with something like that?
Well, we've got a long road ahead of us, and we hope that we will have you back. Congresswoman Titus, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your perspective. We appreciate it.